This video will outline the process for instructors who have students who receive testing accommodations. This is connected to the new online system, DRC Hub. The steps remain the same as before. The new online system will make the process more streamlined for everyone. First, the student will notify instructors of their accommodations, including alternative testing, at the beginning of each course. This notification will be submitted through the DRC Hub and generates an email to each instructor. Students are encouraged to send the accommodation letter as close to the start of the course as possible. Next, the student will submit one exam request for each exam, also through the DRC Hub. An exam request contains the date, type of exam, whether the exam is in Canvas, is on paper, is a HESI exam, and so forth. Start time for the exam, how much time the class gets, and which of their approved testing accommodations they would like to use for that particular exam. The student can only request testing accommodations that have been approved by DRC. The Campus Service Center, CSC, under the direction of the DRC, will process the submitted exam request, then send the instructor and the student an email once that request is approved. That email contains a link to the exam instructions form that the course instructor will need to complete for each student. The exam instruction form contains questions like how much time the rest of the class will receive for the exam, how the exam will be delivered, how the exam will be returned, what aids the class is allowed to use on the exam, if any, where will you be during the exam if questions arise, what technical components may be required to administer the exam, and so on. If you do not complete this step, DRC and CSC will be missing important information, and this could negatively affect the student's testing experience. Next, you will need to deliver the exam to the CSC. If you are given a paper exam and want to deliver it electronically, you can upload it directly to the new DRC Hub online site. DRC Hub is a secure site that only approved staff have access to. You are also welcome to deliver a hard copy of the exam to the CSC or email it to the CSC. It is your choice. If the exam is a Canvas, HESI, PAEA, or other online exam, you will need to set up the extended time and email the DRC the password at least a day before the exam. The student will report to the CSE to take the exam on the specified date. If the exam was completed on paper, it will be returned to you in the manner specified on the exam instructions form. A couple of important things to know. When DRC has approved the student's exam request, you will need to complete the exam instructions form. We ask that you do this as soon as possible to ensure DRC has the important information. Missing information in the exam instruction form could negatively affect the student's testing experience. Please deliver exams or passwords to online exams at least 24 hours in advance. This is to facilitate a smooth process for you, the student, and the DRC. Let's show you an example of the email that you'll receive once CSC has approved the exam request. While the specific wording may change slightly, the basic idea is that the first part of the email is going to have information that's important for you to know. The middle part is going to have the specific details for that individual student for that exam, such as the name, the class, the exam type, the date, start time, how much time the class gets, and when the student needs to be done, as well as what accommodations they have requested to use. At the very bottom, there is a URL. That URL is really important that you select that and then complete the form. That link is going to take you to this page where you have two options. The most important part is that you complete the exam instruction form. So let's select that. This form is 6 questions long. Let's zoom in so you can get a sense of the questions. At the very top you have the class, and the first question is how much time that students get for the exam, how will the exam be delivered, what allowances may the student use on the exam, how is the exam to be returned to you, any technical components required for your exam, and where you will be during the exam and how may we contact you if questions arise. Submit that form. Once you have successfully submitted the form, you'll be taken back to that previous page where you'll see a green check mark, System Update is successful. What you can also choose to do is upload an electronic version of the exam. Obviously, this is for exams that are not online exams. To upload an exam, choose Upload. Selecting that link is going to bring you to this page. At the top of the page provides some instructions about what file types are acceptable and what file sizes are accepted. The rest of the page is pretty straightforward. You can choose to add a note, and you get to decide if you want to use the same exam for all of your students requesting testing accommodations, or if you want to submit a separate exam for each student. Then you choose what file you want to upload. If you have something like images to identify that's in a separate file, you're welcome to do the same process to upload a secondary file. Anytime you upload an exam, you will receive an email letting you know that it was successful. If you do not receive that email, first check your junk folder and then contact the DRC.